Good morning, everybody. Well, we're back, and we're a little different this morning. It's very exciting. Change always is not always a good thing, but you got to have it. So you work and you try to improve. The Japanese have a saying, kaizen, continuous improvement. So you folks that are viewing us, and you may be viewing us on YouTube, you may be viewing us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Earl and Cars and youtube.com/Earl and Cars. Well, notice that maybe a little bit of difference. We've kind of rearranged things in the studio a little bit, moved our green screen and so on and so forth, and we've got a situation where we can communicate better with each other. Rick Kearney and I switched chairs, and it gives me, and I think everybody's got a little bit better seat.
I like this better.
Yeah, Stu just walked to the door. He says, it's looking good. Nancy, what do you think?
Great.
Okay. I couldn't have chosen a better time to be in the car business. I mean, usually when you're in an endeavor, when you're in something, you don't see a total metamorphosis of a business. So we have just gone from the horse and buggy into the 21st century big time with autonomous driving, artificial intelligence, and keep your fingers crossed, a rebirth of the artificial old-fashioned car dealer. The car dealers will be coming back as human beings that will treat you with honesty and transparency. I like to think this show has had a little bit to do with that because we've been doing it for 20 years. Nancy and I started this on a little radio station called Seaview Radio about 20 years ago, 30 minutes. And boy, first day morning that we went on the air, I think it was a Thursday morning, I don't think anybody was listening. We were sweating bullets. we were praying. We even had to get somebody to call the show, so we had some people to call the show just so we were supposed to be a live talk show, so we had to ask people to call the show.
We had a few shills.
Yeah, shills.
In the first
Please do.
So we reminisce here in the studio room here, whatever this is, and boy, oh boy, fast forward to what is today, July 6th, 2024, and man, I don't know where to start. We have the Federal Trade Commission, kind of like Marshall Dillon coming to Dodge City to clean things up. We have artificial intelligence just absolutely changing everything with the manufacturers, with the car dealers, everything we do. And we have a consumer that is arms and legs smarter and more informed than 20 years ago, or God help them, 50 years ago. It's just embarrassing. Later in the show, we got a great posting on YouTube, I think it was, from a employee at a car dealership that we mystery shopped, and we'll talk about that later. It's enlightening to hear what car dealers and car dealership employees think about what we're doing. And it's like any other change. You have the leaders, you have the followers, the people in between, and then you have the people that just don't care. I mean, they don't know. They're totally uninformed. Speaking of mystery shopping reports, I keep forgetting that a lot of people have never listened to this show before. So the highlight of the show, and really the sum and substance, the proof of what we do. The proof in the pudding is our mystery shopping report. We send out an undercover agent every week, and we even had a new state. We're in North Carolina. Our mystery shopping report's been in Michigan and Pennsylvania and states I forget about, mainly Florida, we'll be honest about that. But we really hit a lot of different states and different types of dealerships. Mom and pop shops, members of giant chains like AutoNation and Lithia. I mean, car dealership business today is big business. So Well, we just about covered it all. Our undercover agent, we call her Agent Lightning, goes in and pretends to buy or lease a car. And I mean, she knows the car business. She learned it with us. She started out, in fact, she started out pretty damn good. She was very good. Her first year shopping report, as I recall, but she's really good now. I mean, she gets it, and the answers, our questions and answers, and things that she puts down for us. Stu writes it in a very informative and sometimes amusing type of prose, and all I do is read it. So I'll be reading that mystery shopping report, and we were usually cut over to that around 9:30. A little after that, the last second hour of the show. We're on from 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time every Saturday, and we know that the average watcher, viewer, listener, whatever you want to call yourselves, is on the radio. We call it is a broad term expression, because you might be on YouTube, you might be on Facebook, you might be on Zoom. I almost forgot that. This change is breathtaking. We've been trying to get on Zoom 100% for about a month, and by golly, I'm knocking on wood, I think we're there. And Jonathan Cantor, they ought to give him a medal. In fact, I will give him a medal of some kind for finally navigating this very, very difficult technical feat to be able to take a radio show and turn it into a Zoom show. It's like taking a radio and turning it into a movie, radio and turning it into television. So you want to know why radio is getting obsolete? I mean, when's the last time you really listened to the radio? I mean, seriously, think back what you did 30 years ago. Radio. Now, every now and then, when you're in the car, every now and then. So we got, is there a name for that? Zoomadio? Oh, Nancy's flagging me. I know what that is.
Zoomadio.
We have a caller?
I'm down here.
Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give you two numbers for now that you might want to jot down for the ladies. $50 for the first two new lady callers, and for those of you who have a Zoom account and can give us a call on the meeting ID number, you can do so at 926-589-0586. That's 926-589-0586. And for the first two Zoom callers, guess what? You can win yourself $100.
Wow.
So take advantage of that this morning. You can also call us at 877-960-9960 if you'd like to be part of the show. You can text us also at 772-497-6530. We're going to go right to the phones, and this is pretty exciting. We have somebody calling us from Harlem, New York, and his name is Renee. Good morning. Welcome. I think we just lost Renee.
Hello, Renee? Was that the name, Renee?
Renee?
Renee, could you give us a call back? We may have been just a little slow on taking your call, and would love to hear from you. Actually, if my memory serves me well, I don't believe we've ever had anyone call us from Harlem, New York. We'll go to Howard, and he's a regular caller from Jupiter. Good morning, Howard.
Hello, Howard.
15 miles. Yeah, I'm now 15 miles from Harlem, New York.
Are you all
Maybe 12 miles. So here's my question. First of all, how are you all doing?
We're doing great.
Great.
If you see Renee, let her know she should call us back, please.
You know, Renee, if it's a woman, it ends in 2 E's. If it's a man, it ends in 1 E.
Ah.
You know,
Okay.
I have all
Good.
kind of trivia.
Thank
Okay. Okay. So anyway, here's a story. I have ties for life, but I'm in New York now, and I have one tire that is losing air, and it's like 5 years old. And I was told that I shouldn't get it fixed because it's 5 years old, and once they break it down, it's not good. So there must be a nail because I'm losing a pound like every day. So what I've been filling it up, and number one, what should I do? What kind of tire should I get? And am I covered for this if I save the old tire and bring it to you and show you that it's a Solus, Kumho Solus, which I have all 4 of them. So advise me, what should I do? Should I get a
Well,
new
Howard, I'm going to let Rick give you the advice on the tire as far as what what you're permitted. Let me say the Tires for Life program. That's a special program our dealership has where we supply tires for people for as long as they own the car. We cap the cost at $700 per tire, and Total, I'm sorry, but you get as many tires as long as you keep the car. But you have to maintain it according to factory recommended standards. So the reason I did all that is because people don't know what Tires for Life is. Now they do. I would you go ahead and buy the tire that Rick is going to be recommending, and we will reimburse you for that. But I'll let Rick be the expert on what type of tire and what precautions you should take to make sure you do need to buy the tire, and we'll let Rick have the mic.
Well, the first question, have you had the tire checked by anyone to see why it's leaking?
Okay, no, but I know a little bit about tires. I know it could be leaking from an old sidewall, like if it's over 5 years old, or it could be leaking from a little nail, or it could be leaking from the valve.
Right.
So those are the 3 places.
Yeah.
I checked the valve out. It's not the valve.
Well,
Okay.
the first thing, find a tire shop, a reputable tire store.
Yeah, Costco. I'm going to go to Costco.
Okay, they should be able to handle it. They'll pull the wheel off and either just spin it and hit it with soapy water that they'll spray on there, or they'll put it into a dunk tank. I prefer a dunk tank myself because then you can see the bubbles coming out wherever the leak is. Now, if it's a nail or a screw or a piece of wire or something like that, and it's in the tread in the middle of the tire, then it can be safely repaired. All they need to do is pull whatever it is out, take the tire off the rim, and put an internal patch. That's the safest method. And of course, if there's enough tread left that it's reasonable to do this, and once you put that patch on there, that tire's good for the rest of its life. I mean, it's fine.
Okay, I went to Costco, and here's what they told me they would do. They say what they do is they plug it. They don't plug it. They insert something inside, and to see where it's going. Then they take the tire off, and they patch it from the inside. So they're doing 2 things, I believe. So, but let me put it this way: I think Costco's reputable. I don't think they would do anything wrong to fix your tire. Am I correct?
Right. Costco's they've got a reputation to uphold.
No better place to buy a tire than Costco. They are honest, the prices are extremely low, and they're very informative. So if I were you, I'd do whatever Costco recommended, and I think you could do that safely, but we got Rick here to double check on that.
Yeah, if they say the tire can be repaired, then that's what I would do. Especially if it's got 5/30 seconds of tread or more left on it, and they say yes, it can be repaired, I would simply have them repair it. However, if it's got a puncture in like the sidewall or the very edge of the treads that cannot be repaired, you'll need to have the tire replaced, and probably just go with whatever they would recommend for a tire, what they have in stock. Once you've replaced it, just bring the receipt for that back to our dealership, and we will cover that under Tires for Life.
That's great. You guys are great, and I appreciate all the help that you're giving us, especially now when I have this problem. And let me tell you something, it's higher here in New York than it is in Florida, so don't worry about people saying, I'm in New York, and the weather is great. I'm not going to go to Florida. It's pretty hot here, too. So.
Yeah, but next week it'll be 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Thanks, Howard.
All right, nice talking to you.
We're going to go to Tricia, and she's calling us back, and she joins us almost every week, and we appreciate her call. Good morning, Tricia.
Yes. Listen every week. Yes. Two things, Nancy. Number one, I did log on to Zoom. I know you were asking people to come on Zoom. I got on Zoom. The problem is, I sent you a message. No one replied. And to prove to you I was on Zoom, I could tell you what everyone was wearing. All the guys were sitting at a table. 3 guys at a table. Earl was on the right side wearing a light blue shirt. And Nancy, you were sitting in a royal blue computer chair with your beautiful red and blonde hair.
Yeah, you could have seen us on YouTube. I don't believe you. Just kidding. I'm sorry that we couldn't speak. Yeah, we think we've overcome the technical problems, and so if you try it again, we'll be able to see you.
Yeah,
and hear you.
in fact, we'll give you another $100. We'll give you $100 for trying, and
Thank you.
And we have the audio we think fixed. So why don't you go to your Zoom account and try to call us back, and you can earn another $100 real fast.
Okay, I'll just one $100 is fine.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Tricia, did you write that number down for the
Yes,
meeting ID?
yes, that's how I got on Zoom last week.
Well, I was referring to this week, if you still had the number available to you.
Is it a different number this week?
No, it will always remain the same number.
No, I have
Tricia,
that.
go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
I was just going to thank you for calling, and we looked forward to hearing you
Wait,
give us a call
I got
back
another thing
and
to say.
seeing your
Yes,
face.
wait. Right, thank you. But another thing. I am going up. I'm making an appointment to have my alignment checked per Earl, because remember I had an issue with my tires wearing out.
Oh yeah.
And Earl said, you do free alignment checks, right, Earl?
That's correct. Yes.
Yes, I'm making an appointment to go up there. It's an hour drive for me, but it is worth it to get, an honest opinion because, I don't trust anybody else. And also I'm going to get an oil change and I'm going to get my alignment checked. Because remember I told you 2 weeks ago, I was told my control arm, whatever, $1,500 worth of work. And then I went to another friend of mine, and he said nothing was wrong. So I'm going to make an appointment to go up there, get all this done, have you guys check underneath my car, too.
Sure, we're glad to. Yeah, we do a routine check and to see what might not be just right, and we let you know what that would be. And by the way, we appreciate you coming to our dealership. And after we give you your free alignment check, we're going to show you a computer printout of your car and exactly what the machine told us in detail. So you will get it's either going to tell you you definitely need to have an alignment. You might want to consider one, or you don't need one at all. And that way you have the machine's measurement right along with the service advisor you're talking to. So anytime you go anywhere for an alignment, it should be free,
Right,
number
I know
one.
that.
Number two, you should see the computer printout.
Yeah, but I won't trust a computer printout from anybody because I know guys could fudge it. That's why I'm coming up to you guys. I don't trust anybody. And I told you the guy that I do trust doesn't have an alignment machine. But my third question is, will I get to meet your beautiful people up there if I go up there? Will I get to meet you and Nancy? Let's say if I make an appointment on Tuesday or at the end of next week, will you be up there so I could meet you?
Well, we're in and out of the dealership, so you do what you said. Make the appointment, and once you have made the appointment, we'll know about it. So, we're in and out, and we have kind of a crazy schedule. But you just go ahead and make the appointment, and if it's humanly possible for us to be there, we will be there.
Okay, great. Okay, and I'm gonna try Zoom again, but
Thank
we
you for
will,
that,
you know,
Tricia. We look forward to hearing from you on Zoom. And thanks for
Thank
being
you.
part of the show. Have a great
every
weekend.
week. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me be clear about that a Zoom meeting ID number. Well, if you're going to call that number, it's only the first 2 new Zoom callers that would receive $100. That number is 926-589-0586. And ladies, for you, the first 2 new lady callers, give us a call toll free at 877-960-9960. I got to congratulate Roadrunner for all of his patience this morning. He's been hanging on for quite a while. And Doug will get with you also. Good morning, Roadrunner.
Meet
Good
me.
morning, everybody. Everybody have a good holiday?
Yeah.
We did.
Good. Okay, last Saturday, after we spoke on the phone, 3 hours later, I get a call from Nissan about my 2016 Frontier. So they go, hello, Steve, how you doing? This is so-and-so. He just happened to see my truck in there because I was with a friend. He goes, would you be interested in selling your vehicle? I said, no, I like my truck. Well, I seen you looking at the new Frontier. I said, yeah, it was very nice. He goes, well, what do you think? Oh, I think $5,000 for a protection package is a little ridiculous. Oh, you ain't got to get that. You ain't got to get that. I said, what about that other $10,000 you add on? I forgot what they call that.
The markup.
Addendum, market
Yeah,
adjustment
he said it.
addendum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes, you want to talk to a salesman? No, you called me. I want to talk to you. So I said to him, I asked him about that $10,000. Again, you want to talk to the salesperson? I said, no. So I said, let me ask you this. I mean, I know you told me you're new at this job, but you just happened to call the wrong person. He goes, why that, Steve?
They're going to have your
Because I
picture up on a poster in dealerships.
Earl Stewart College, right? All of a sudden you hear pins drop, and then it's like,
Oh, no.
he goes, he sounded like Ralph Crandon from the Honeymooners.
Hum.
This guy. So then I asked him about if they got hacked, okay? He said yes.
Oh,
So
wow.
I said, you still hacked? He goes, yeah. I said, well, you selling vehicles? He goes, yeah, we're doing it manually.
Well,
So how do you figure that?
Well, I had a pencil
Some
and paper.
transactions you can.
That's the way I started
yeah,
selling
yeah.
cars, Steve. I go back 50 years. We didn't know what a computer was. The first computer we ever had in the dealership was called a Wang. And
1980,
I heard
right?
of that.
79 or 80.
yeah, so but everybody used to buy a pen and paper. It was people forget. My great grandchildren don't even know what a pen and paper is.
They call them
True,
styluses.
true. And the other thing, I'll tell you this fast story. I'm in Publix. Now they ask you for your phone number when you're checking out,
Yeah.
right? So I told her, I said, she goes, what's your phone number? I said, Pennsylvania 65000. So she's looking at me.
She had no idea what you were talking about.
She goes, one of the 2 elderly people behind me, they started laughing. So she goes, is there an area code for that? I said, no, listen, you just have a good day.
Yeah, my dealership, Pontiac dealership's number was Temple 34555.
Oh, wow.
8675309.
That's a good one.
Yes, very good. And if that lady's going to visit your shop to get her alignment, you should have told her to bring Danish. This way you're guaranteed to meet her. All right. Everybody have a good, safe
We
day.
love
Enjoy
you,
the
Steve.
weekend.
We love you.
Have a
Yeah,
great
I
weekend,
know. That's
Steve.
what my ex-3 wives told me.
Yeah.
Thanks for being part of the show. Okay, we are going to go to Mimi, and she's calling us from West Palm Beach. And we certainly enjoy hearing from her. The women are making up, making a big difference in the auto industry. And it's probably because they've been recognized finally. Good morning, Mimi.
Good morning. Should I be turning the radio down?
Yes.
That's a great idea.
You get
Okay,
feedback.
let me do that because otherwise I'm hearing 2 of you.
You don't
Sure
want to
you
do
know.
that.
Turn it way down. In fact, off would be best, but way down.
Okay, I got it way down now. All right, a couple of things. I am looking for a vehicle, and I did go to your dealership. I'm not really happy with the salesman. How do I switch? I only saw him once. Am I, like, married to this person?
Absolutely.
No, you know,
No, not at all, Mimi.
this
You
is
know
not
what,
a-
Mimi? You have, you're in the driver's seat. You got all the power. I love women asking me that question. You can have whatever you want when you walk in to the dealership, within reason. And, you know,
I just
just
want a
because you were,
different
just because you were met by one salesman, it just doesn't mean you've got to, as you said, you know, have someone
Okay.
come in and perform a ceremony where the two of you, you know, get married up.
Great. I'm glad to hear it. I did experience some of the things you spoke about when you warned us. One dealership had like this whole package you had to buy a car. I'm looking for a used car. And it was like a big package. It had the nitrogen tires and this and that and other
Oh
things.
boy.
Yeah, so of course I wouldn't go back there. The other one was a Japanese company, not yours, and they still had the thing from COVID where you added $5,000 to the price of the car.
Well,
It's called it
they're
a
living in the past, yeah.
manufacturer incentive.
Did they tell you that was a market adjustment?
In it, I did. He didn't say a word. I read what it said. He put it up to me to read because he was brand new. It was like second day at work, and he really didn't know what it was. And it said that it was because it was a car that was scarce and very popular, something like that, in my own words. Anyway, so getting back to your dealership. Okay, I just wanted to let you know that when I went, I was asked to walk all the way to the other end of the used car area where the other dealerships, a lot of them will just bring the cars to me, which I like better. Anyway, when the lid was raised for the trunk area, a whole lot of water came down into the trunk.
Wow.
And of course, I was like, this shouldn't happen. And the person just said, oh, it was raining a lot. You know, that's why I want a different salesman. I want somebody who's going to take what goes on seriously. Anyway, so it turned out the person walked away, and I was like inquisitive because I listened to you enough to know you got to find out. And my husband and I were mechanical together, so I saw one of the lights in the back on the lid or the trunk lid. It was smashed. And it was a certified car, and I thought to myself, I know that had to happen after, so I don't know.
Well,
I guess you have cameras in a lot. Somebody smashed your light.
Well, thank you.
Wanted to let you know.
Mimi, this is particularly helpful to us, and we mystery shop ourselves, by the way. We have 160, 170 employees, and we have, so we're considered a large dealership. I would be foolish to think I didn't have some rotten apples in my barrel, and I do. And we need training, and we need constantly to get better. But certainly the improvement that we need to make, because we listen. And this is live on radio, and so we're not ashamed of the fact that we unfortunately we're human. We have people. We're not a perfect dealership, and the only way we do as well as we do is we apply our motto, which is Kaizen. I said earlier in the show, Kaizen, Kaizen. It's a Japanese word meaning continuous improvement. So right away, just from your conversation, we'll be talking to our salespeople about checking the cars more carefully. And we'll be we'll also I'm working right now with the other managers, and we're coming up with a system that will allow sales people that are buying cars, our customers, to choose the salesperson they want. And in your case, you'd like a person with a little bit more sensitivity to say, oh, don't worry about the water pouring in the trunk, it's been raining. That was a nonsensical thing to say. But we worry about compatibility. Some women prefer to deal with other women. If English is not your first language, you prefer to speak with somebody that's fluent in Spanish. If Spanish is your first language,
Yeah,
and
that's I've noticed.
so we want to match the customer with the salesperson that would make that customer feel most comfortable. So thanks for bringing out these very important things
Okay,
and
I
helping
did get to,
us get better.
Okay, you're welcome. I was after that seeing those. There was another one I got to look at, where they needed a key for one that was upstairs. There was a cart with with a assistant manager in it, and I told him about the light. So I presume it's been fixed by now. Yes.
It should have been fixed. And all of our cars should be checked regularly. And they come in fast, they leave fast, and sometimes we drop the ball, and we did here. And my son Stu, who is our general manager, he'll be on top of this. So
now when I come into your dealership, it was a holiday or an after hours, and nobody was there.
You know what, Mimi?
When are you there?
I'm sorry to have to interrupt you, but I've got a lot of calls backed up.
Okay,
but I want to
I'll
leave you
stop
with
in.
this thought, just to help you understand. You have just helped us. And I don't know whether you realize this or not, but 85% of car purchases, they're from women in service, maintenance, spending money, all kinds of money in the dealership. So your phone call this morning, like I said, I hate to cut you off, but I have
that's all right.
I have a lot of calls here. So
Take care
please,
then.
I want to thank you for calling, and good luck.
Thank you. Have a wonderful
And give
day.
us a call back and let us know how it went.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. We're going to go to Marty. Good morning, Marty.
You out there, Marty?
Okay, we're going to go to Doug. Doug is also a regular caller. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. I have a 2001 Toyota Avalon. My Freon has leaked out of the vehicle, so I got it recharged. It leaked out again. The mechanic says he can't find a leak in there anywhere as far as under the hood area. Where else could this Freon be leaking out of?
Rick could answer that for you.
The evaporator core.
Is that inside the dash?
Yes. You said it was 2012?
No, 2001 Toyota Avalon.
2001. Okay. What you're looking at is under the dash, you've got the evaporator, which kind of looks like a little radiator. It may also have a connecting tube and the expansion valve. And what I would recommend, because the price of those pieces are not really a huge amount of the job. The main cost of the job is the labor. I would replace all three of those items that go inside that box, because the dash has to get partially removed from the car or even completely removed in order to get that box out to change those pieces inside. So yeah, if it leaked out pretty quickly, and you've got no signs of oil or anything leaking outside, all that's left is the evaporator core, and that is the most common thing that starts leaking on them.
Yeah, he did say that there was. He did say there was some little bit of oil around the compressor, but he thought maybe that was from, before when he had changed the oil or something. I don't know. He said there was a little bit of oil around the compressor.
Yeah. Normally what happens when we recharge a system to look for a leak, we'll add what's called an ultraviolet dye that we inject into the AC system, and this actually circulates through with the refrigerant. So then when we come back to look to see if there was any signs of a leak, we'll put on these very fashionable yellow glasses and shine an ultraviolet light that is just basically a very strong black light, and it will make that dye glow. So if there is a spot where it's leaking, all of a sudden we've got this beautiful greenish yellow glow coming from that spot when the light hits it, and you can see exactly where the leak is. But if you can't find anything on the outside, it's a process of elimination. It's going to be the evaporator core. You're probably looking anywhere around $1,200 to $1,500 to have that replaced.
Okay, one other question real quick. Back to my airbag light flashing on. You told me could possibly be some kind of water underneath something that was collecting somewhere. I didn't understand that.
Well, your evaporator box for the air conditioning sits directly over top of that airbag computer. For some reason, the engineers, oh, you gotta love engineers, they put this very delicate computer directly underneath a box that is constantly getting hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And as anybody in South Florida knows, if you've got an ice cold bottle of water and you walk outside for 2 minutes, it's dripping condensation off of it. Well, that same thing happens with that AC box, and that condensation will drip right onto that computer. Now, they do have plastic shields over it, like a plastic vinyl adhesive pieces put over top of it. But even then, some of that moisture could work its way down into those connectors. So that is a potential place that should be inspected. But most likely, you're going to wind up having to replace that computer.
Okay.
When you got a 2001, you need to be thinking about get your adding machine up and start adding up the cost, because at some point you might want to. I don't say you trade it in on a new car, but you might want to trade it in on a little bit later model certified used car.
How many miles you got on that one?
104,000.
No, so
That's low miles for a 2001.
Yeah, that's very low miles.
I'm not getting rid of this car.
Okay.
I'll the price.
Yeah, because
It's
what
a
I was
real-
going to
real
suggest
car.
for if you were going to consider letting the car go, what I would do is I would charge that AC up. You know, have a technician charge it up
But he's
to
not
where
going to
it's
let it
blowing
go.
ice cold.
He's not going to do that.
Yeah, but any Toyota that's running and with cold air commands a high price. People love the older Toyotas, and they'll pay a fortune for them.
Yes, I love my Avalon, and I'll just go ahead and pay to get it fixed, whatever it costs. It's a great running car.
I can't really blame you.
It's a great
Thank you
car.
very
Yeah.
much.
It's a
Thanks,
great
Ron.
car, and that's what I have.
I really appreciate you all very much for answering my questions, and you all have a great day.
Thank you, Doug.
Bye-bye.
First, let me say that Renee from Harlem, New York, this morning was our first caller. And I sure hope that you're listening, Renee, and that you give us a call back. We'd love to talk to you. We've not had a caller from Harlem. And Earl and I would love to talk to you about our memories of Harlem.
Yeah.
We've had some great times in Harlem.
Went to a place called Rayo's restaurant that's not there anymore, but it was really a cool place, like right out of it's kind of like a mobster hangout.
Yeah,
And we
like
really had
out
a
of the
good time.
mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, give us a call back. We're going to go that number, that meeting ID for the Zoomers that want to call us is 926-589-0586, and for you others, 877-960-9960. Yes, Rick.
We've got at least one request on YouTube here that if that Zoom caller could please call in on the regular number, they would definitely like to hear your comment story on your issues with your Tesla and the full self-driving.
Oh, great. Okay.
So, yeah, if you could call us back on the regular number,
Hey.
that'd be great.
And that number is 877-960-9960. So now we are going to go back to the phones, and we're going to talk to Marty. Good morning, Marty.
Good morning. How are you?
We're having a whole lot of fun here, Marty.
Yeah. The echo doesn't work too good.
Oh, you don't like that psychedelic kind of a flair
No.
that we've given the show?
You might have to give $100 to anybody that can understand it.
Now.
I've got a question for either Rick or Stu or you or anybody there.
Okay, we're ready.
A lot of tire places are rip-offs, just like a lot of car dealers. I'm going to tell you why. 2 years ago on my old car, I had a nail that was in It was in the tread, but it was closer to the sidewall. So I took it to 3 different tire places. They also don't know. You need a new tire, $275, and hello and goodbye. So I took it to a place over on Okeechobee Boulevard, which is a no-name repair shop. And I said to the guy, can you put a plug in this tire? The guy said, oh, no problem. He put in the plug, charged me $15. It lasted over 2.5 years before I even traded in the car and never lost an ounce of air. So I think people have to beware of where they take the tire to, because I would say tire stores, they make their money on selling tires. They don't make their money on putting in plugs.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, and I just want to say, you probably did get scammed, but one thing to remember also is that, and Rick, I think, will back me up on this, plugs don't always fail. They fail sometimes. They might even fail half the time, or maybe most of the time. Depends on how you drive, how long you keep the car. So when you're talking about tires, it's kind of like talking about your heart. You might be able to get by without taking your heart medication, and you might live a long life that way. But you got a better chance if you do what the doctor says. So the problem is you got to find a smart, honest doctor, and you need to find a smart, honest tire guy. And that's like finding a hen's tooth. There's not a lot of them around. So I'm glad your tire lasted 2 years with a plug. Rick, I know you need to comment on that.
Well, just going by the training that I have had from Toyota, and I'm sure they looked up to get all the liabilities and the legalities on this, because one of the things as a technician that I have to be aware of myself is if I do a repair on your car that is, shall we say, not considered safe and approved, and something happens, if your tire blows out and you get in a crash on the interstate, you and anyone else involved in that crash, I'm responsible for that. If I'm the one that I decided to go ahead and repair that tire, even if I knew by my training that that was not a safe repair, even if it may work, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, but the one time that it fails, if someone gets hurt, I'm responsible for that. That's on me, because I did that repair, even though I knew I was taking that tiny chance that it was unsafe.
Well, but let me jump in there, then we'll finish this up. The idea is transparency and giving the customer the choice with full explanation of the pluses and minuses. So if you clearly explain, and we would also verify this on the written repair order document, that we recommend you not plug the tire. But if you want us to plug it, we will plug it with a full disclosure that the plug will work about 90% of the time, but the plug doesn't work, then all the terrible things Rick just talked about can happen. So you have to, we're the masters of our own destiny. I don't want a salesman telling me if you don't let me sell you a new tire, you're going to die if you have it plugged. I'm not going to plug it. You go somewhere else. I'm not going to be responsible. That's not honesty and transparency. So Rick needs to lay it out to a customer, and any place you do it needs to lay it out and let you make the choice. But a smart company, a smart technician, will also verify in writing what his comments and recommendations were.
Okay, I just want to make one other comment. The Automobile Club, when you used to call them for a flat, they used to have that guy with that truck do a plug if you wanted one.
Yeah.
They don't do it anymore.
And the reason they don't do it anymore is because of those liabilities.
And they can't trust, AAA is a big company, and they can't trust everybody that goes out to fix a tire with giving the full transparent disclosure. But
you're right.
Yeah.
You're
okay.
right. All right.
Marty,
have
it
good
was a
weekend.
pleasure. Thank you for
All right.
being part of the show every week. Have a wonderful weekend. Our number here is 877-960-9960. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. I see where I've got all kinds of phone calls, and they're out of state. We're going to go to Chuck. He's calling us, I believe, from Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma. I'm sorry. I couldn't
I
help
knew
myself.
that was coming. Sorry on top.
Morning, Chuck. Welcome.
Good morning. Love your show, and I love the echo. And my brother went to Woodstock, so
You like that echo? I'm happy. We're going to fine tune that.
Jonathan, overdub some music for
I'm
the
happy.
replay.
It's another job for Jonathan. Hey, what else has he got to do? Poor guy's going to have a nervous breakdown.
I got a 2001 Toyota also, so I
Wow.
commend that. That's pretty hilarious. Mine's got only about 85,000. Bought brand new in Houston, Texas. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it till I die. But anyhow, the reason I called, I finally got my Chrysler fixed after taking it to 2 or 3 mechanics and finally to the dealership who kept it for a month. And I had to get a rental car. And then it was ECM, PCM, throttle body, all these other things that apparently the mechanics couldn't figure out. So I'm on the groups on Facebook for all the Chryslers, and all my friends are telling me everything to do. And I'm like, I'm leaving this to the dealership. They're the experts. and the dealership, I actually have 2 dealerships that I work with. One in Siloam Springs, Arkansas, and the other one in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And I love both dealerships, especially the one in Fayetteville, because they sell all the brand new supercharged Challengers and stuff. Anyhow, the dealership had it, and I said, well, why can't you fix it? He goes, well, we're trying. And I said, well, can you try a little bit harder? I'm a little tired of the rental.
Try a little smarter, maybe.
And so he says, well, just bear with us. So I would call once a week saying, what's the progress? And, every excuse under the book. And so I called my dealership in Fayetteville. I said, why can't this guy in Siloam Springs fix a car? And he said, well, even I have problems finding a mechanic that can fix a car if it's 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm really... And so I
Well,
said, okay.
well, truth in that. Truth in that.
But I finally get the car back in town, and it still doesn't run. It's still in the lightning bolt. And all my friends say, it's throttle body. It's this. So I finally said, okay, look, I'm going to get a map sensor from O'Reilly's for $40, because that may be the part they need. And I'm going to get some cleaner for the throttle body that the one guy put on and said, it was, I admit it was aftermarket, but he said it was at a good price, and he said, I cleaned it up perfectly and stuck it in there. It's good. Anyhow, I went out there and took that thing off, because I used to work on cars back in the day when I enjoyed that kind of stuff. And I sprayed the heck out of it, and all that black gunk came out of there.
Yeah, carbon buildup.
Right.
So
So I cleaned it out as good as I can and everything. I didn't want to take it all off. I said, I'm just going to clean it because the butterfly's sticking, right? So I put it back together. Boom, starts up perfectly. Drive it up and down the road. He goes, drive it like 40 miles an hour so the computer does the relearn. So...
Well, you're from that era, and that's the reason we can't find technicians. I mean, I'm not going to guess your age, but my guess is you're over 40, and if you Rick's worked for us for 25 years, and that's why he can do that. But there are even cars Rick can't has a clue about. The first car I ever sold, 1937, or my father sold it. I didn't sell it. Was a 1937 Pontiac Chieftain. And you want to have a laugh, get the oldest mechanic you got and bring him over there and say, can you fix this? He'll say, what's that? Because a 1937 car is unidentifiable by 99% of the technicians in the world.
Rick got it running.
Yeah, Rick did,
Rick gets it running.
Well,
It's the most basic of machines, right?
I'm a historian, though. I love
Yeah.
the history of the old cars.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we still have that 37 Pontiac Chieftain.
Yeah.
We didn't mention that. It was bought back like 20 years later in the 60s, and we've had it, and it's been restored, and it's sitting there. It's beautiful.
I drove it to my high school's 100th year anniversary.
Oh, yeah, Palm Beach High.
Yeah, Palm Beach High, yeah.
Well, I had a
Amazing.
60 Chevy Impala Super Sport with a rag top.
Oh,
Drove that all
nice.
over.
Yeah, we got to run. Nancy's got a bunch of calls
Okay.
backed up over there, and
Hey.
it's nice to talk to a good old-fashioned mechanic that knows what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Thanks,
See you
Chuck.
guys.
I used to be an old-fashioned mechanic, so that tells you how old I am. Back in Pittsburgh, I worked on all of my cars.
My dad was born.
Much simpler.
We also have Purdue alumni for Earl to know.
Pardon me?
We have Purdue alumni.
That's right.
Ah, there you go.
Lafayette,
All right.
Indiana, West
Thank-
Lafayette.
Thanks, Chuck. Give us a
Bye.
call again. Okay, we are going to go to Tennessee. We're going to talk to Larry. Hi, Larry.
Hi there, folks. I tell you what, you got one of the greatest shows in entertainment and in knowledge and perception that I've ever listened to on the radio. And I'm 78 years old.
Well, I'm not going to pay you for saying that, but I
Thanks so much.
Not going to argue with you either.
thank
Thanks
you
so
very
much, Larry.
much. Thank you.
Well, let me tell you my experience with Earl directly, okay?
Oh boy.
I went to his dealership when he was running the show at Dixie and North Lake Boulevard.
He still runs
And
the
he
show.
personally gave me the Carfax right there in the parking lot on a 2018 Sorrento. I talked with him about it a little bit. He handed that to me. And he gave me the information. I didn't even ask for the Carfax. He just had it in his hand and gave it to me. That's how straightforward Earl is with regard to doing the right job. Well,
That's
I
nice.
took that car. I bought it for $18,000. And I'm sorry, I had 18,000 miles on it. I bought it for $11,000.
Wow.
When I gave it to my son-in-law as a gift for the wedding with my daughter, it had 40,000 miles on it. I never put anything into that car through the course of all of that duration, all
Amazing.
those miles.
Amazing.
And wait till you hear this though, because I'm a Cadillac man. Okay, this was a quirk that took place.
You know
It
what,
was a
Larry?
good one.
A friend of ours who sounds just like you is also a Cadillac man.
Well, let me just tell you. Let me finish the thing about the Sorrento. You couldn't turn it up to number 4 on the air conditioner. You had 1, 2, 3, 4. You had to leave it on 3 because otherwise you get frostbitten in your nose. That's how great that car was.
Wow.
And I'm not exaggerating. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I never put a penny into it. I did what the manufacturer's manual calls for: oil change, brake pads, blah blah blah, whatever. You know, I mean, brake pads are good for 100,000 miles, I think. And it used to be back in the day, brake pads are only good for about 18, 20,000 miles. But this car was just unbelievable. And I'll tell you what, Earl was so straightforward, and I mean, he just knew his business, and he was honest. It was one of the only honest car dealerships that I ever.
You're making me blush. You're making me blush. Thanks, Larry. I think we got a bunch of callers here backed up. Thank you for the compliment. You're a great guy.
Yeah. We appreciate your call. Give us a call, when you can. Maybe next Saturday. We are going to go to Doug, who has been patiently holding. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. Happy Saturday. I was just calling to say the echo was nice.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. I like that.
But I am a tech, and if you're running Zoom and someone has their mic open, you will get that kind of feedback. So when someone calls on Zoom, make sure they have their monitor off or whatever, or else you're going to get that feedback.
Oh, thanks for the tip. We'll try that. Maybe it wasn't our fault, or maybe it was. I don't know. We'll work it out. Jonathan's the technical genius on this stuff, so
Yeah, he's a
we'll get it
genius.
figured out.
Okay, so you remember you guys in 2018 when my Honda got hit by lightning, and then they try to fix it and they could never fix it.
Yeah.
Well, on June the 22nd, we had a really bad storm in Boca, and I took my car to get it, the new car. I have the GR, to get it the oil change finally, right at 3,300 miles. He says, "Hey, you need an oil change." I go, "Okay." And the guy at the body shop, he liked me. He comes out and says, "Hey, Doug, how you been?" And then he looks at my car and he goes, "Hey, did your car get hit by hail?" And I go, "What?" So anyhow, my car got hit by hail, and now it's got little dings on it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
We've seen that happen. Hail is rare in Florida, but it does occur. What you may consider is talking to your insurance company about it.
No, I did. They said that they would definitely fix it, and it would be an act of God. So there wouldn't be any, the deductible is only $100. That's not too bad.
No.
There you go.
So yeah, so I have 2 act of God incidences in about 4 or 5 years. But other than that, I'm okay. Ella is okay.
Well, that's good to hear. Meow right out to Ella, and tell Sam I said hi, and it's nice to have a nice family like you watching the sunrise and listening to the radio show. You guys have a great week.
We love you guys. Have a great week, too.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Give us a call again. And we're going to go to Tom in Jupiter. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, Tom, you out there?
Tom's here.
Hey,
Good
Tom.
morning, Tom.
Tom.
What can we do for
Well, I
you?
didn't realize you picked me up. Anyway, I'm sure you've been asked this question before, but I didn't hear it. I don't have the radio on for a couple hours every Saturday. But the question is, well, you got Ice-T advertising Car Shield, and all that. You pay this much, and they'll take care of everything. And also One Call Endurance, these places. And I'm wondering, Rick and you guys, what's the story? Is it worth the money?
So no, and Rick can tell you how much the money costs. The problem with these advertisements, Nancy and I are just absolutely that we're targeted. We're targeted with because we're older. We get every pharmaceutical company in the world. We're getting cremation homes. We're getting caskets. And so they target people, and people that are of a mindset that they might want to have their car fixed, they scare them to death, and they offer you something they call an extended service contract or a warranty. But if you read it, the first thing you want to read is what's the law requires. They put what's not included, and you'll find out that about 90% of everything that's going to cost you any money is not included. But they also have a lot of little stuff that because you're not a mechanic, you're not technically inclined, it sounds good. But the fact of the matter is, if it's advertised on television, if it's advertised on any kind of high-pressure media, where they're saying buy this, it's a great deal, it's absolutely the opposite. Do not buy. And if you're going to buy one, shop it carefully, and buy it from the manufacturer. Will sell you extended service contracts. I don't buy those either, but you don't want to buy one that you buy over a TV ad.
And you know what, Tom? They really air that commercial a lot.
Yeah.
Did I hear you say that was Ice-T?
Yeah, that one is rad.
I mean, and they
also,
both, him
Danica,
and his lady friend, they sound so convincing.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Same with Danica Patrick does one for endurance, too.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I had a strong suspicion what you're telling me was the case, but I wanted to check with you guys, the experts, and get your opinion on that. And so, anyway, that's all the questions I have for today. Okay?
Well, it was great hearing from you, Tom.
All right.
Thank
you.
Give
Love
us
your
a call.
show. All right.
Thank you.
Sure.
We're still waiting for another call, and we have that meeting ID. And you can call us at 926-589-0586, and you can win yourself $100. We're waiting for one more Zoom caller. So, if you've already called us on Zoom, ladies, I'm still waiting to hear from you. 877-960-9960. You can win yourself $50. First 2 new lady callers. Take advantage. Or you can text us mentioned Earl's Vigilantes in a while, and it's certainly near and dear to Earl's heart. And you can help not only us, but maybe your neighbor, by joining Earl's Vigilantes. We've got quite a list, and you don't have to know how to take an engine apart, but just, put some information out there with your neighbor, or in any way at all, you can join.
Yeah, you just
Earl-
listen to the callers we've had. Some of you are so knowledgeable.
Yeah,
that-
educated consumers.
That you need to share this expertise with others. And if you go to earlsvigilantes.com, you can sign up. Some of you who've called today, was it Tom in Oklahoma? Or Chuck in Oklahoma.
Chuck.
I mean, there's a very knowledgeable guy. There'd be some people out there in Oklahoma that would like to be able to contact you, Chuck. And if you volunteer, you're on our website, which is earloncars.com, www.earloncars.com, and you're listed as a vigilante, and that's someone that has some specific car knowledge that is willing to share with the less informed. And there's a whole lot of people that are less informed. This show, we're preaching to the choir, let's face it. The YouTubers that follow Rick all the time, and a lot of our callers, really, they listen to the show because they enjoy it, but they don't need it. The people that need it are the ones that don't listen. So hence the need for the vigilantes. You need to go out and find people in your community, and if they can pick up and call Chuck locally in Oklahoma, and he can say, hey, listen, he could also tell you to listen to Earl on Cars or go to earloncars.com, or he could give you his own advice. So please consider joining our vigilantes.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. And, as Earl said, you can share your expertise with, those that are less fortunate, that get taken advantage of. And, boy, do we see a lot of that going on. We are going to go to John, our favorite caller from Palm City. Good morning, John.
Good morning. I have something on my mind that dealers sock it to people. You talk about junk fees. It's registration fees when you buy the car. My opinion is, and Earl would confirm it, I wouldn't pay any more than $20 extra for the privilege of the dealer getting you license plates. What's Earl's opinion? What does it cost the dealer for the electronic filing fee as an average?
Cost us $10 was the last time I checked.
10 or 12 bucks.
Yeah, it's computerized now. If you go back 20 years before the computers did this, then there was a lot of accounting work and manual labor of sorts. But today, it's we don't have a person in our dealership anymore that does that because we have it's computerized. And there are even companies out there that do it for nothing. And what the dealers do is they take a $10 charge and then they mark it up by $450, and that's all profit. But they lie and tell you that this is a cost to the dealers. Not cost at all. It's a big fat profit center.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of the dealers really suck it to the people, hundreds and hundreds of dollars extra.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, in the state of Florida, when you buy a car or you come for the first time and you don't have a plate previous, there's a $225 initial plate fee.
Mm-hmm.
That fee goes to the state transportation fund.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had a past car, they'll have a record on it on a computer that you turned the plate in for a car you sold or something, you will get that credit.
Yep.
You will not have to pay the $225. Or if somebody in the same household with the address will get that credit also should they register a car.
Right.
So that's important for people to keep in mind. Basically, also, your license plate in Florida is good for only 10 years. After 10 years, you need a new plate completely. That's because of the weather in Florida. They figured it could be wet from the sun and everything. But that's a $25 fee.
Yeah, and if you haven't had a new plate in 10 years, there's a lot to choose from now. I've seen every possible imaginable plate on Florida roads. There's no uniform Florida plate anymore.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yes, but again,
just to help clarify, John's absolutely right. A brand new tag is going to cost a little bit more It's that deposit John mentioned that goes to the state, and then
Right.
after that point, you can transfer the registration, and it's considerably less to whenever you have to transfer it to a new car.
That's important to keep in mind because people get shook up when they say, wait a minute, 225 extra. Any new license plate that's issued, you have to pay that fee.
Right, plus
And
the
then
registration
also,
title fee.
What I want to say is I think it's a ripoff when you renew for 2 years because they don't give you any reduction in price.
I know.
So what's the sense? You may not even have that car.
Well, it's a convenience,
2 years.
I guess.
Exactly.
I'm on 2 years now. It's just easier for
Well,
me.
it's convenient. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
And also, believe it or not, Florida started a new system. Right here in Palm City, you can renew your plate in a public supermarket. There's a special
Really?
machine that'll let you easily follow the instructions, and you can renew your license plate. So
That's really interesting. I wonder if any other Publixes are doing that, because that's something.
No, it's going to be spread to other Publixes, from what I heard.
Oh, good.
And there's a lot of technicality on the plate, too. I won't go into details. If you're 100% veteran disabled with this Form FDVA, you get a license plate for only $4.80 annual fee a year. But there's a lot of technicality. Only in your motor vehicle can you inquire about the different type of license plates that are available.
Okay, but that's still good to know. Thanks, John.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm waiting for the shopping report.
Oh, thank you. It's great hearing from you. Okay, we're going to go to John in West Palm Beach. Good morning, John. How are you?
Hello, John.
To me?
There you are.
Hello. First, on the license plate kiosk at Publix, there's one of them in Palm City.
Yeah, I think John was just
Public has it.
the John right before you mentioned
No,
that.
not Palm City. Palm Springs, here in West Palm Beach.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great to know. Okay, so you
Yeah.
can renew your tags at Publix's. That's great.
Yes.
Huh.
And then my question initially called was, have you dealt with any of these extended warranty insurances through your shop? You know, have people come in and say, well, I have this extended warranty, and then the people say, you know, and they think they're going to get it fixed, and you've had to tell the people, they declined it because, you know.
We have run into that. It doesn't happen all the time, but people do come in with warranties. Usually the good ones, you know, the legitimate ones. We can look them up quite really easily with the very worst. It's an 800 number that we would call. But in some cases, there were conditions like it had to be performed at the dealership it was sold, or there was a strict restriction that wasn't known, or an exclusion in the warranty coverage that wasn't disclosed. So we see that from time to time. We don't see that with legitimate warranties coming from, you know,
John, one of the little known facts about these warranty companies. One of the little known facts is that the dealers own, many of the dealers own these warranty companies. We own warranty company. And the warranty company is an extremely lucrative type of business to own. There are great tax benefits. If you want to go back far enough, most of the dealers had offshore warranty companies. I mean, you really want to get down in the dirt. No, they weren't paying taxes on their warranty income. So the evolution has now come to they're more honest than they used to be. But when a dealer owns a warranty company, he has to be honest to his duty to fix your car when it needs to be fixed. Because when he does fix your car, it's coming out of his pocket. So when you buy a warranty, first of all, if you're buying it from the dealer, find out if it's the manufacturer's warranty. And even when it's the manufacturer's warranty, he's going to be participating when he sells you the warranty because the manufacturer encourages him. And the more warranties he sells, the more people come back to them to get their cars fixed under that warranty. So after all that smoke, it boils down to one thing: honesty and transparency. I recommend you buy an extended warranty only from a manufacturer, and if you're going to buy it from a dealer, then be sure you're dealing with an honest, transparent dealer, and be sure you know what the warranty covers and what the warranty does not cover.
right, great. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome, John. Thanks for giving us a call. Well, now I'm happy. Elizabeth is calling. She's a first-time caller. She has just won herself $50.
Ka-ching.
And she's calling us from Hope Sound. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
We're great. We're so
That's
happy to hear
good.
from you. And if
Oh,
you
that's
stay on the line when you're finished talking with us, you can talk to Jeremy. He's in the control room, and he will take your information and pass it along to me, and I'll write out a check and send it out to you.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I have a question. My husband and I have a debate. Whether or not it is important to shut the air off before you shut the car off, or make sure the air is off before you turn the car on. Does it make a difference?
Not worth arguing about, but I'll let Rick.
That's marriage. That's a relationship advice. Don't argue. Don't
Let
fight
Rick
about
answer
that.
the.
I know.
There's a technical answer, so let's hear the technical answer.
That came from the heart. That was real.
Oh, Elizabeth, you made my morning, Elizabeth.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
This is a universal problem. Do you know that? The difference of opinions in relationships. And as my husband would say, hey, guess what? That makes a horse race.
That's it. That's
Okay,
it.
Rick, it's all
Now,
yours.
I'm going to throw out one qualifier here first. I do not know which one of you chose which answer. So there's no way that I can tell
he's covering
which
himself.
person I'm backing. But here's my opinion.
Okay. We're open-minded.
It'll make no difference whatsoever
Oh, boy.
by turning the air conditioning off before you park your car. However, there is one caveat there. For a time, we had cars that when you shut the AC off, or when you shut the car down, the air conditioning boxes were so tight a tolerance, and they would seal up so well because the engineers had tried to get them so perfect that the moisture that was inside that box here in South Florida, especially in this summertime that we've got, it would sit in there with no airflow, and it'd be just like that wet towel that you dropped on your bathroom floor and left there for a day or two with no airflow. It would very quickly start to get that musty, mildewy odor.
Oh, very good.
And
very good.
So one of the things that the engineers were recommending, until they could get around to do a reprogram on the computer system for it, what they would recommend is set your AC to fresh air intake and turn off the compressor when you're about a quarter mile from home, so it's just the fan blowing. And that would help you reduce the amount of moisture in there. And then when you parked it, leave it on fresh air intake so that air could circulate through there. Well, what they've done now is they've
That's
changed.
far more than Elizabeth or her husband wants to hear.
Yeah. Well, they have changed the programming now to where when you park your car, it automatically opens up that
Ask Rick
box to
what
let
time
the
it
air
is.
flow.
He tells you how to make a watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it helps to understand what the answer
It
is.
helps
and why.
you. It helps you.
Yeah.
It confuses me.
That's helping me. I'm learning all sorts of stuff over here.
But for whichever one said which, it won't make a single change whether you shut the AC off versus leaving it all set so that when you start the car up, it starts blowing cold as soon as possible.
Correct. Okay. Thank you for your help.
Thank you,
Well,
Elizabeth.
thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks for amusing us. And on a more serious note, you do know that you have really encouraged other women to call the show, and you're helping us build a platform here for the ladies, and we definitely appreciate that.
Yes, that's great. I appreciate that. You guys have a great day.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Okay, we're not having any difficulties with our Zoom, so I'm still waiting for someone to call us on the meeting ID number, which is 926-589-0586. That's 926-589-0586. And I'll tell you what, we're clear on calls, so probably be a good idea to either go to your anonymous feedback or Facebook or YouTube.
And then, and also, one of us can find Jonathan's text that reads the from the
That's from Garber.
posting. Yeah. And we can do that too whenever you're ready. Because I can't find it.
Yeah. Do you have it?
All right.
No, if you'll pass it down.
Well, I get to Anne-Marie's text while you're looking for that.
Okay.
Anne-Marie says, good morning. It's summertime, and that means people will be hitting the beaches and the pools to cool off. It's easy to jump in the water and forget that your keys are still in your pocket. In the old days, when you just had a simple old key and you jumped in, you could just dry the key off on your towel and drive away. Nowadays, keys have chips in them, and many vehicles just have a key fob. 1, what can you do if you jump or fall in with either a key with a chip or a key fob? 2, can you just dry it out? If so, how? Thank you, with a smiley face with sunglasses, because it's summertime.
If it's a keyless entry remote type,
Yes.
has the buttons on it, if you get it out of the water super, super fast, shake it as dry as you can, and try to get it somewhere where you can get air blowing on it, you've got a small chance.
What happens if you go swimming and you get home and you realize it was in your swim trunks all day?
You're gonna pay.
That's going to be done.
Really? Yeah, it kills those. Water and electronics do not mix very well at all, and it's gonna let the smoke out. You won't see it, but it does, and it kills that electronics. And those keys, that.
Are there waterproof cases that you can get for your keys?
There are
for outdoor,
some
for the adventurous types.
Yeah, there are some, but they're kind of like the original waterproof cases for cell phones.
Right.
It's basically a Ziploc bag.
Okay.
So if you want the simple answer,
Ziploc bag.
get a Ziploc bag to put your keys in,
Okay.
and it will seal out that water.
I want to know. I want to know what happened to Anne-Marie on the 4th of July that make her ask this question.
She probably got tossed in the pool.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
That should be pretty interesting.
Troublemaker. That's right. What's in that spray bottle with the red liquid, Rick? Can you hold that up to the camera?
That's just a throat spray.
Okay, just don't spray that anymore. I think it had an effect on our broadcast this morning.
Oh, well.
I'll leave the man alone. He's spraying his throat.
Well, you want to go to you want to go to some more text. You want to go to that Facebook or YouTube posting or Facebook posting.
Hey, good morning, Karen. How are you? Karen's watching us again. Hey, Karen, do you have a Zoom account? If you're listening, 926-589-0586. You can win yourself $100 this morning if you call me. Us.
Well, one quick note. Mark H. is recommending for the Echo, try having our control room turn off all the microphones but one on our end and see if that gets rid of the Echo Zoom effect.
Well, that might be a challenge for Jeremy. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We could turn off our own microphone.
I have a text from Karen. She absolutely does not want to talk to no one.
Okay.
And she said that she felt like she was on mushrooms earlier.
Hey, glad to be of service.
Yes, whatever it takes, Karen.
I have some texts. If we don't have any phones coming in here.
You go ahead.
Okay. I thought I had a text there.
Or do you want me to read this?
Go ahead.
And then, can you put that up? Are you going to put this up on the screen? Okay. I'm going to read this. What is this? A YouTube posting?
It's a comment.
YouTube comment. And we select things. First of all, we should be getting more YouTube comments and more Facebook, comments because we do regular messages and other stuff, but we should get to these. And I'm glad Jonathan did this because we get the YouTubes that are posted are just fabulous. And here's one, and I'm going to read this from the printout of Jonathan's text to me. I remember you. You were all over TV years ago picking up a red phone and stating your name. Please look us in the eye and tell us that you're not pot calling the kettle black, and that you've never fired a manager or a salesman for not pushing the boundaries of a sale. You must know from your own experience as a car dealer that this is exactly how it's done across the nation. After viewing your Google reviews, it's apparent that you may be in the same category of some of the dealerships you shop under false pretense. Oh yeah, mystery shop. Now, this was posted by a fellow that was a service advisor to Garber Buick in Fort Pierce that we mystery shopped 2 weeks ago. So it really got them angry, and the name of the shopper is name of the service advisor, service salesman is Tom Camlett. So Tom, first of all, thanks for listening to the show, watching
Appreciate
the show.
that. Thank you.
And I think Nancy said to me, boy, it's really cool that the service advisors at Garber Buick in Fort Pierce are listening to this radio show.
That's really good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You're a guy that's in the business, and you're in the trenches.
Mm-hmm. Hard job.
You speak from who you are and what you do, and I respect that. So I'm going to read this one more time, just so I get this right. This is what the YouTube posting said, and it was from Tom Campbell. Tom said, I remember you. You were all over TV years ago picking up a red phone and stating your name. I used to do those TV commercials a lot. Now we switched largely to digital because people don't watch broadcast TV anymore very much. And our demographic doesn't watch it. So we do the same thing that you saw, Tom. We do it now on digital. You got Instagram or Facebook or all that kind of stuff.
Still got the red phone.
Yeah, still got the red phone. Please look us in the eye and tell us that you're not the pot calling the kettle black, and that you never fired. This is very interesting. You never fired a manager or salesman for not pushing the boundaries of a sale. You must know from your own experience as a car dealer that this is exactly how it's done across the nation. After viewing your Google reviews, it's apparent that you may not be the same in the same category as some of the dealerships you shop under false pretenses. Oh yeah, mystery shop. Okay, let me say this. I probably didn't fire any managers, even back when I was evil, because I didn't like to fire people.
I've never done that.
And I don't. What we do is we advise people, we coach people, we train people, and usually we try to coach them and train them so much they quit because they realize that they can change. But we don't fire people for things like that.
But for like 15 years, we haven't had a sales process where we would have a reason to be upset for maximizing it. It doesn't work like that at our dealership.
And for you people that don't understand what he meant by that, there are car dealerships now that have rules, A, B, C, D. Always get the name, address, and telephone number. Always. And this is like comes down from the mountain it's like a 10 Commandments. It says, "Thou shalt introduce the customer to your manager," and that's so. And if you don't, in some dealerships, if you don't do that, the salesman's fired.
But I read this as the gross. Maximize. He's talking about getting all the gross is what he's talking about.
Yeah, getting all the gross.
He's not talking about the
Does you
email
go back
address.
for more? Does you go back? Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were going to pay us $1,000 over sticker, but you might have got $2,000 over sticker. You're fired.
You're weak, yeah.
So
that doesn't happen.
No, we don't do that. And mystery shopping is a great thing for you to do. I mean, you could mystery shop us. We mystery shop ourselves.
Yeah.
That's how we found out what you do at Garber Buick, because we send an undercover agent. So
maybe we should shop Garber's service department.
And here's the other thing that's interesting. He said, after viewing your Google reviews, as apparent that you may not be in the same category of some of the dealerships you shop under false pretense. Well, first of all, we have the best Google reviews of any dealership that you can find of our size. But the reason you can find negative Google reviews on our website is we don't take them down. See, we don't
protest. We don't.
Yeah.
We also don't farm or try and get good reviews.
Yeah.
We respond to the ones. So if there is a negative review, there's going to be an honest response from me
so what you
personally.
see is what
usually.
you get. So we have more positive Google reviews than any dealer I know.
But we also have bad reviews. But
we do. Yeah.
But look closely at the bad reviews.
Yeah.
There are no claims of lying or bait and switch.
And the reviews are answered. So anyway, thank you, Tom, from Garber Buick. I hope you're listening now, and I welcome you to Mystery Shop our store and send the report in. We'll read it. And see, I can't lose because, first of all, you're probably going to get a really good report. But if you get a bad report, then I'm going to find out where a problem is and fix it.
That'd be
so
great.
You can help us get better by mystery shopping Earl Stewart Toyota.
And then call in and we'll you can read the report.
So that was I really thank Jonathan for finding that. We need to do a better job of going through all those postings and coming up with nuggets. I love it when people in the business
you get
watch.
Notifications. Yeah, Jonathan gets notifications.
Yeah.
We get notifications on every comment, so Jonathan gets them as well. So
okay, great.
That one stood out.
Very good.
And there's a few, that you and I have caught, every once in a while, after the show. This is interesting. This is one of Rick's friends on YouTube, and it's Johnny Z. Fradley. Fradley,
yep.
Fradley.
Johnny Z.
And he says, welcome to Earl Stewart and the Grateful Dead Hour. So everybody out there was really...
I should have played. That's what I should have played.
Everybody's having a good time.
Little Franklin's Tower or something like that.
Yeah, it's not.
I apologize,
not too late.
Johnny Z. I play Beatles, but next time we go into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and there's so much information I have right before me that we worked on this morning. There's not going to be any time. We got to get to Rick, and we got to get back to Stu. We have your anonymous.
And that's what makes a good show. The callers make the good show.
Yeah, we have your anonymous feedback .com also, and there was a great article in the Wall Street Journal yesterday, and I think that Jonathan is saying that we got 4 minutes to the Mystery Shopper Report. So, Earl, what would you like to address? Do we want to go to Rick and back to Stu?
Anonymous? Which one you want?
What do we want to do?
I got just one quick one here
I
from
don't care
Donovan.
what you do.
I want to read this one by Donovan. He says, more wonderful news about Florida. Florida, under the bipartisan infrastructure law that was passed in 2021, is getting $198 million to install electric vehicle chargers along highways in the state.
Ooh.
Several gas station chains in Florida are now demanding the state of Florida start to distribute the funds from the NEVI program because the state has not given out a single dime of that money. Florida's the number 2 state for EVs in the U.S., yet we are the state that is furthest behind in using this money for chargers around the state.
Politics.
Ohio just finished their second round of chargers being installed, and Oklahoma is installing chargers now with the money, and they are ranked towards the bottom for the number of EVs on the road. So I don't know which state is number 1, but I think probably Nevada, because Nevada was first on the ball with EVs. I know that.
Are they?
But that is pretty impressive.
Well, our governor's name is DeSantis, and he wants to be president of the United States or vice president, and so it's politics. And that's, I mean, I'm not picking on DeSantis, but I got to salute Oklahoma and some other states that actually have people who run the state that care about the people in the state that are driving electric vehicles. But
DeSantis is going to be DeSantis.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think Rick mentioned much earlier in the show, that there was somebody out there that wanted us to, share our experience about Tesla and the updates and everything. And you and I spoke this morning about the autonomous, and you can just
tell them about leaving the house this morning.
You can just enter into your navigational system, where you're going, and they autonomous comes back and it allows you to know how long it's going to take you to get to your destination, which sort of rules out, stepping, getting out there and racing to your destination.
If I ever
you can be
had
more
an accident,
careful.
and Nancy ever had an accident, the two things that we do, and we're guilty before we had fully autonomous, we're guilty of getting in the car late, going to the doctor's appointment, wherever we got to be someplace, got to be at the airport, wherever it is, and we start late, and so we go into a panic and we rush.
And you're angry with each other.
Now, we tell our fully autonomous Tesla, we've named Miss Nancy, and we say, take us to the airport. And Miss Nancy says, well, you'll be at the airport at 11:43. Now, Miss Nancy knows.
Do you ever feel like you're talking to yourself?
The shortest route to the airport. It knows the traffic patterns because it sees all the drivers on the road, and it knows just within a minute or two.
It takes all the thinking out.
We arrive within a minute or two when they say to do it. So we relax and don't have to rush.
Not only that, pardon me for interrupting you, but the pedestrian part of it that we don't even see, but Miss Nancy. And there's a lot of pluses that she does, but there is times whenever she just becomes unpredictable, and it's not a good thing. I scream at her a lot.
Well, a lot of times I accuse her of being unpredictable when in fact she's just knowing more than I do. And more often than not, she knows more than I do, and I just let her do what she wants to do. I'm getting more and more permissive because she's doing things that I should have been doing all along.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, there's two. The guy that made the comment on YouTube, he also did anonymous feedback on that. So that was the same message. He came out on 2 channels. So I wanted to thank the guy from Garber for doing that because we like it when people are using anonymous feedback. So thank you for using that channel as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, Jonathan is telling me that we have to go to our mystery shopping report. Is there something, Rick, that you can mention real quick?
No, there's nothing Rick can mention real quick. Okay?
Nope.
I
was just passing word from Jonathan.
Hey, listen, folks. We have the mystery shopping report, and it is from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. It's Davenport, Honda.
What a great place in the world.
And you can vote on, is it?
Beautiful, yes.
You can vote on this mystery shopping report by going to 772-497-6530. That's our text number. And remember, gooddealerbaddealers.com. And you can go there and you can see some of the great and the good and the bad and the ugly. So take it away.
Davenport Honda, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, God's country. A new town, a new state for a car shop this week, Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Speaking the first person, so I were Agent Lightning. I walked in the door, was greeted by Gene. He extended his hand for a gentle handshake, introduced himself, and then asked, what brings you in today? I said, I'm here on vacation, misplaced my driver's license and couldn't find it in time to make my flight back to Florida.
Oops.
Boy, Agent Lightning is very creative and imaginative. I'm in the market for a new car, and I hate flying anyway, so I figured I'd get one up here and drive her home. I found my license, by the way. I like that. Gene chuckled and asked, is it too hot outside to go and look for the car, or would you prefer to look on my computer online? I said, well, it's not so hot to me. He laughed, motioned for me to come outside with him to see what they have. I found 2 different cars that I liked, a new, a question mark kind of a thing, 2024 Honda Accord EX, and a new 2024 Honda Civic EXL hatchback with an MSRP of $30,200. Now, the reason there was a little question on the 2024 Accord, the Accord was a service vehicle with some miles on it, so I'm not going to go into a rant about what's the difference between a new car and a used car. I'll save that for another week. Gene showed me the addendum label next to the Monroney label, properly affixed in the correct spot. Amen. I mean, and we are not in Florida, folks. The Monroney label's where it's supposed to be. This shows what available accessories we have. This is Gene talking. This shows what available accessories we have available for this car. He said, and you as a customer, listen to this, refreshing. You as a customer can add on what you want rather than what many dealerships around here do. They just put them on anyway and overcharge you. So there he said it. And this dealership, they show you what we have that we can put on if you want to pay for it.
Yeah, they have all that stuff. They have the all-weather mats, cargo mats, splash guards, spray and bed liner, all this stuff. Actually, a lot of this stuff is useful. Toolbox, roof rack, things like that. But that's their accessories.
And that's what retail is all about, and that's the customer's choice. The price is there. They can take it or leave it, and that's the way it ought to be. Not the way it is in 99% of car dealerships. So, good. We walked inside to his desk. I asked him if he could show me the prices for both the Civic and the Accord. He pulled out a notebook, wrote down the info on the computer screen. These were my prices for each. And
this is very quaint and charming.
Yeah, it is quaint. Yeah, I mean, I'll hold it up. It's not handwritten. Might have something to do with a CDK thing. I don't think so.
It was.
It was?
Well, I don't know. Well, she asked about that. Well, no, they got it working, though, so never mind. So, but they had just gotten it working.
He's an old guy. He's been
he's
around
used
for a
to
while.
doing it.
You'll find out a little bit later that the salesperson, so it's probably old habits, which is nothing wrong with writing with your hands on a piece of paper. Gene said they have an $899 dock fee. Now, that's what he said, and it's not a cheap dock fee, and that's shouldn't be there, but it is, okay? So let's call a spade, and only $1 for a 30-day paper plate, we call them, to take the car back to Florida. He said I'd pay all the taxes once I got home and register it there, which is true. I asked him if they have a printout that shows me payments, interest rate specials, etc. He said, of course, I can do that. I just need to put you into our system. But I'll gladly do that for you if you have a few minutes. And I said, sure. I asked him if they have any special rates. He pulled up on his computer with the specials, which can vary depending on individual credit. That's interest specials. He shared that they just got their systems back up yesterday. That was which, by the way, I believe almost all car dealerships up after the cyber hack that cost millions and millions of dollars to a lot of car dealerships and
hundreds
lawsuits. It's going to be. We'll be talking about this CDK cyber hack for a long time, but it's all over now. The dealers are all back in business, and
they paid the
ransom. We're just counting the damage. Yeah,
they paid the ransom. I think they paid the ransom.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they did. That was $10 or $20 million. Yeah,
crazy.
Which is a shame, I guess. I mean, it's just a shame you could get away with something like that. But that's another show. Okay, here we go. Here's the specials based on credit. 3.9% for 24 to 48 months. 4.9% for 49 to 60. 5.9% for 61 to 72. And today's rate climate, that's pretty damn good. So
it's all Honda stuff.
You do the arithmetic and find out how much am I financing for how long, and is it worth it? What's it worth it to me? I thanked him for the info, but said I would pay cash. Gene excused himself for a few minutes, returned with a worksheet, reviewed my numbers for the Civic. The top line was MSRP, $30,200, and there was $1,712 discount. Boy, nice to see a discount. Then he added back the $8.99 dock fee and $1 in non-tax fees for the temp tech. I mean, that's Mickey Mouse. I mean, who's going to talk about a buck? No tax or title since I'd be handling this in Florida. That all made sense. As I read the document over, Gene told me that Mr. Nelson, 90-plus years old, owns this dealership. And Gene has been working, that's his son, and now his grandson, since 1988. Wow. Gene asked me if he planned on purchasing this car. When would you do it? Explained that he finishes up today at 4. Was that a Friday?
Yeah.
And won't be back until Monday at 9. He said not to worry, though. Anyone here can help me through, although he prefers to take care of his own customers. He introduced me to Anthony and said he'll be here all weekend. If I need anything, he thanked me for coming today and walked me to the door. So there you have it.
Nice guy.
And we vote on these things, by the way, if you're new to the show, and we vote on the curve. That means that average dealers are not too swift. So an average dealer who's not too swift is going to be getting a C, where maybe you'd give them an F because they did something that you didn't like. But we don't give a lot of Fs, because unless the dealer is so dangerous and criminal, we want to have your option to be able to buy it from him, but know that you got to be careful. On our recommended dealer list, that's pretty good. On the do not buy list, you don't want to touch them. So
you can vote at 772-497-6530.
Well, before I mention the voting, Anne-Marie texted and says, story behind the question. A friend went swimming with the key to his wife's car in his pocket. When he got out, the wife's vehicle did start. I was wondering if he should put the key in a bottle with dry rid to make sure things were dry in order to ensure domestic tranquility. Would that work, Rick?
Damp rid is the best thing you can do for that.
Yes, Anne-Marie, do that.
I remember in the old days, we used to use rice.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah, you take your phone and throw it in a thing of rice.
No.
So now that we
damp
have
rid
damp
actually
rid
works.
is the best.
Rice just puts dust in there.
And if you do, use raw rice. Don't cook it first.
Or fried rice. Don't use fried rice.
And don't put the key in the microwave.
They get I'm going to give them a B+. They can't get an A because A's are reserved for junk fee free dealers. But this was as pleasant as it gets, and I think it has something to do with Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's the elevation, about 2,000, 3,000 feet. It's beautiful.
What's your grade?
B+.
B+.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, they're not perfect, but, find me a dealer that doesn't have a dealer fee.
Yeah.
They're going to be
Isn't
something.
that where you had the fiasco with your Scotch bottle?
That's they
Really?
don't have it. They don't sell alcohol in a lot of parts of Carolina. So
Yeah. I'll save that story
you have to go to a state store
for another time. I was feeling, mischievous.
Nancy hid my scotch from me. I'll just tell the truth. She hid the scotch from me.
He freaked.
And she had me running around this cabin in the mountains, frantically looking for my scotch. There, I said
He
it.
freaked out. I had to slap him around.
I had to drive 80
Snap
miles
out
to
of
get a
it.
new bottle of scotch.
He had to drive into Tennessee.
I think we almost went over the mountain, didn't we?
Yeah. You almost went over the mountain.
Oh. Okay, grades. I'm confused by the seating order. Rick.
I've got Joseph Kelleher says B. Would have been an A without the high dock fee.
Yeah.
T. Cash says B. Would have been an A except for the high dock fee. Well, guys, hey, you're right in sync there.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim Gilliland in Toasty Yuma, B+. The $8.99 dock fee prevents an A. Johnny Z. Fradley, even though a $900 fee, I'll give him a B-. So refreshing to see an uncluttered quote sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Smith, this dealership deserves a B+. Brian Sidlatko, it's an A today. Mark H., A for transparency. Cram 1624, B. What happens when you get in the box, he wonders.
We don't know.
Myself, I zoomed in on that list of addendums, and I noticed they have a free dealership for life program that has free car washes, free loaner vehicle access, free inspections, a lot of free stuff on there, added right in for no extra charge.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna break that level a little bit. I'm gonna say an A-, even with the dock fee. For me, I'm giving them the A-. I think this is a place that I would say is looking to earn your business legitimately.
Right, they're using an addendum for a whole different purpose. They're using an addendum just to promote the dealership as opposed as a bait.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
All right.
I like that.
I think you're right, Rick. There's a lot of plus. Unfortunately, that dock fee just sticks out at me, and it's just like a thorn in my side. I just don't like fees, but there, as I said, there's so many pluses. So I'm going to give them, and I hesitate. I'm going to give them a B.
I agree with you. I'm gonna give him a B too. Here's one little nuance. I didn't even mention this to Stu. Nancy and I were talking about. Did you see how the salesperson spelled Doc?
Yes, DOCK.
Now, maybe
that?
I'm reading too much into that, but of course, DOC is a DOC abbreviation. Is a documentary fee. A documentary fee is charged by the bank. It is not profit to the dealer, and so I'm thinking that the salesperson didn't know what the doc fee was. And
Like, you think it's kind of like duct tape?
And it was just like, that's the way docs, a doc fee. I was giving him a little bit of credit.
Yeah, right. It's something that's been said so long, it's become its own word. It doesn't mean anything.
He was probably 18 when he came to work there. Says, and of course, there's the doc fee. Says, yes, sir. Okay, doc.
And he's been saying it like, right.
The dealer has a boat, I think, and he keeps his boat at the dock. Or there's maybe, I don't know.
I am surprised we have not used that before. How could we have not used that before? A dock fee? Yeah, it's the dock fee where he docks his yacht.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to give him a B, and I think it's a breath of fresh air. Yeah. It's a Rocky Mountain high.
Exactly. Well, it's an Appalachian Mountain high. Smoky Mountain high.
Okay. Been a lot going on this 2 hours. Speaking of psychedelic drugs, Woodstock.
Yeah. We're shaking it up.
We got 5 minutes left. Do with it what thou wilt.
Well, I haven't talked about the Federal Trade Commission, and we were proud to be quoted in the Automotive News. It probably means nothing to anybody except car dealers, but in the Automotive News, we were recognized as one of 2 dealers in the United States that wrote an amicus brief to the Federal Circuit Court in Texas, who are trying in concert with the Texas Dealers Association to get the Texas court to nullify the Federal Trade Commission regulation. And so we're asking all honest dealers out there to join us in this amicus. Basically, I'm paying for it. I paid our team of attorneys too much money. All attorneys, in my mind, charge me too much money, but that's just a personal feeling. And it's paid for. So if you want to join the amicus brief and you're honest and transparent, it will help get the Federal Trade Commission regulations, combat auto retail scams. That's the acronym, combat auto retail scams, CARS. And it puts some teeth into the regulations. But thank you, Automotive News, for mentioning Earl Stewart Toyota as being the author of the amicus brief. It was in this week's Automotive News.
Very proud to be part of it.
Yeah, congratulations. Okay, how much time do we have, Jonathan?
All right, let's tell some jokes.
Okay, I got all sorts of material here that I didn't think we were going to have time for.
You really have? You brought jokes
yeah,
for real?
Yeah. Here's a good one. Here's the Raiders coach, the head coach for the is it the Las Vegas Raiders now? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. He and his wife went bankrupt because he bought a car dealership.
What kind of car dealership did he buy?
He bought several, Nissan and Hyundai, and he owes them $28 million. And he had to fight. He and his wife. I mean, I don't want to laugh. I mean, I'm not a big football fan, but there are a lot of big football fans out there. But
it's not easy to run.
Coaches have no business getting into something that they know nothing about.
That's what I'm saying. It's a hard business.
It's a hard business, and a lot of you people that are football fans, the head coach, and the fact that his wife is going down with him. So he personally, from his own personal,
jeez,
which was
I don't like hearing that.
Corporation, but anyway, he did do it.
Was he by himself? He didn't have like a group of investors, or?
No, it was just he and his wife, and the dealership group collapsed in 2018, and now Hyundai and Nissan are after him, and he's declared personal bankruptcy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's not good. And remember what Earl mentioned earlier. We have 2 minutes. I'm going to mention it real quick, and that's about junk fees, dock fees, junk fees, anything that is taking it away, money out of consumers' pockets. That's called CARS. So we'll talk more about that next week.
I got a quickie here. Fisker in bankruptcy. This is why you don't want to be you want to be careful before you buy an EV. The Fisker is liquidating their inventory, and they're selling their EVs for $14,000 each.
Really?
That they spent $51,000 cost them to build.
Can
and
we?
Now these Fiskers, because all these cars are going out, they'll be on used car lots, and their cost basis is $14,000.
Right.
If you
Just
bought a
know,
Fisker,
right.
you're
Just
in
know
trouble.
if you're buying,
Yeah.
or if you're paying more than $15,000, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to cars, we're striving for transparent. It's called transparent pricing. Don't take advantage of the consumer, and we're still fighting for it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this morning. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you right back here, 8 a.m.